People love hitting play. Once they see you and they click on, if they just see pictures and reading, maybe nothing. But if they see that play button, they see a video, they're just going to hit it because they love hitting play. No one wants to read.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode in the Den. I am CJ Bachman and I am joined today by Tito Santiago. He is our senior videographer here at One SEO. Welcome, Tito.
Great to be here, CJ.
Today we are going to talk all about video content. Are you ready?
I'm excited.
All right, so listen, we're going to role play. Have your permission?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So I'm a business owner. I want some new video content. Why would I hire you, Tito, instead of just shooting video on my phone?
That is a great question. I get this all the time. I have no problem with people shooting video on their phone. That is great. It has its place. But if you want someone to really take you seriously, other than just like on your Instagram, you want it to really like look good on like your main page, you want a professional video there. Because if you click on something on your main page and it's just like something you did with your phone and there's weird noise in the background and like kids like waving, it can't be taken seriously. But if it's professionally done, you'll watch and go, oh, these guys are the pros. I can trust, people trust well done video.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes a big difference too. I mean, it just showcases that you put an emphasis on quality, right? This should really be kind of known to everybody, but let's just pretend like, you know, our audience is trying to learn and they're trying to grow. Why does a business really need video at all? Why should they care about video content?
Well, first of all, like now content is king. That's like number one. So you still need video, but you can flood your sites with phone content and stuff like that, and it'll do okay. But why you really need video is because that is where everything's going. Everyone is doing that. Everyone is taking pictures. Everyone is taking videos on their phone. Another good thing about that too is as everyone's doing that, you can send it out to the world. I always tell people, look, you do a phone video, that's great. But then send it to everyone you know, tag it everywhere and have your friends, the people you send it, have them tag it, keep going and going. And then your videos will get to places that you never thought they would even reach. But on top of that, you need professional videos because you can also do the same thing with that on other sites. Like people have their own YouTube channels. Like a lot of companies have their own YouTube channel. You go on there, you don't want to see like a bunch of goofy like phone videos.
Absolutely.
You want to see like the real thing, and that gives you real credibility.
So let's get right back to the role playing, right? So you came out, you filmed it, and I'm going to throw you for a loop here because you're a videographer, but let's talk marketing. So now we've got this professionally done video or several videos. How do I make sure that it gets out to the right audience?
Well, that's where One SEO comes in. It needs to get out to the right audience by one, like any, where you have your presence on the internet, like on your site, you got to have it there. You have to have it anywhere where someone will see you. So if you've got an Instagram page, everyone's got their own Instagram page. You know, you're on Facebook. You know, a lot of people are on LinkedIn is like another site. So you need it all out there, and you need a company like a One SEO to like put it there because you can try and do it yourself. And Bernie speaks about this all the time. Yes, you can have your cousin in their basement do all this work for you, but it really won't get to where you want because what a company will do for you, what a digital agency will do for you is get you on the first page of Google, get on top of Google, and then and then they see your play button. That's another thing. People love hitting play. Once they see you and they click on, if they just see pictures and reading, maybe nothing. But if they see that play button, they see a video, they're just going to hit it because they love hitting play. No one wants to read.
Yeah, no, and they're curious. And I think that one of the key things here too is it's all about knowing where your audience is. And that's where a lot of business owners can struggle and where marketing agencies can help with the data, right? Being able to say that your primary customers or clientele are, you know, on Facebook. So you need to put an emphasis on Facebook. Or your primary clientele aren't on social media at all. You need to move away from Google and go to Bing. Like sometimes your business owner can't do that themselves. So to your point, I think whether it's One SEO or any other agency, being able to have someone that's going to feed you that data is going to help that video go farther for you and for your business. Let's switch gears a little bit again too. So consistency, we know that it's important. You know, how does a business owner decide how often they're going to be playing or how often they should be playing? How do they create that level of consistency?
Well, the first thing I tell clients often is that in terms of like your ROI, it is great. So no, you don't need a video every day. You don't need a professionally made video. You should have as many phone videos as possible as you can get out there. But professionally made, you don't need them like on a constant basis necessarily. If you make one good about us video or your culture video, that has life. So your investment, even though it may be, let's say, $10,000, that could last a solid year as long as like there's no giant change in like your employees, because you do want all your real employees and all the real people working for you in your videos. That gives you, again, credibility. Like, oh, that guy really is the tech and he really will come to my house. So that is one great thing. But once you make one video, it does have some life if it's something that's kind of evergreen, like who we are.
Right.
But I would suggest, like, as often as you can, like once a quarter, something new. You know, I like to tell clients, like, let's get like 3 or 4 videos that can live at least a year. Let's say the owner like shaves his head, you're gonna have to change it.
Yeah.
But like, let's say at least 3 or 4 that live a year for consistency. But within that, anything that pops up or any new message you'd like to get out there that you can just plop on into your site and someone can like click at something new, you know, because some people go back to a site because I want to hire a roofer, or I go to that site. Well, let me look at this site. Let me go back to that site. Let's say it takes them like 3 weeks to make a decision. During that time, if you have another new video, it's like, oh, these people are current. Or right. I see my corner in that video. That's my neighborhood. I'm going to use these guys. I know them. Even though you don't know them,
yeah,
you think you know them.
You feel. So I think it's a matter of understanding the difference between, you know, your evergreen stuff, which to your point is like your about us or who we are, or a culture sizzle reel for your careers page, things like that. Those you can shoot and they can live for as long as they're relevant, right? And things that change their relevancy are going to be, like you said, the owner shaving his head, or, you know, somebody completely changing their look, or employee turnover, in which you've got, you know, a lot of employees being showcased that are no longer a part of it, because you do want to stay relevant. But then there's also things that you can do more consistently, such as your testimonials, which can definitely be filmed via your cell phone, right? Or tips that you can put out on your Instagram reel or Facebook reels to be able to keep yourself in front of people. And those don't require as much work. They don't have to be as professionally done, but it helps keep up with that consistency where that content is coming out.
Yeah, that is actually great. That's exactly my point about, like, the phone is still vital. If you can do something that quick, and people will know if you did it like yesterday on your phone, and they'll respect that.
Yeah.
Now, if you do like your main video on your phone, you won't get as much like respect out of that. But it's cool. Oh, he did that yesterday, or like, look at this like new thing he did, or like I looked at Instagram. Or
Yep.
it is great to see that like constant new turning over a video on that aspect. So phone is great. Always use your phone. Always, always, always. But you need the professional videos too, because you want not only to look like you're hip and now with your phone, you also want to be credible. Like, we're going to be here for a while. We've made this real TV grade video.
Yep, and in your opinion, and again, this is just the opinion of Tito. Everybody's got one. We know what they say. But what do you think are the videos that seem to garner the best results, the most engagement, get the most attention?
Well, in terms of the most attention, it's really like humorous videos do work really well. So that's great. But what you really want is the big production evergreen videos about like who you are, your company, what you do, because the funny ones are great and they will get attention. And I remember reading this over and over on many different surveys over the years when I've been doing commercials. It's that you can have a great, funny, fun video, but that's all it is. And then no one comes to you for your services, because like, oh, that was so funny, that toilet video. I'm not going to the toilet guy because he made a toilet video, but there's nothing professional about the site other than that. So I think really in the end, what you need are, I mean, again, the YouTube channel type video. When you make a video and you have a bunch of them and they're all professionally made, when you click on, usually you get linked to your YouTube channel. That also gives you credibility, because you're like, oh, it's not like this thing they just plopped here that may or may not like function well. Often that happens. It's going to YouTube, where everyone thinks is the real world now. Right. So, oh, you're a real YouTuber person. You have a real YouTube presence. Of course, you must be good. I'm going to go to you.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit about social media for a second, but before I do, a good segue into that is what you're describing is kind of understanding your funnel, right? So your high production videos, the about us, the value propositions, the letter from the founder or from the CEO, those are all things that help at the bottom of the funnel, right? That's when someone's really trying to make that decision. Whereas some of the other videos that we talk about that you're putting out on social or your tips that you might be filming on your phone, those are all more top of the funnel, right? Keeping brand awareness alive, getting people to be interested, say, ooh, I want to follow them. I want to see what they're about. How has social media impacted video production and video advertising, in your opinion?
Well, first, I do want to comment that, like you said earlier about testimonials, you got to have as many testimonials as possible because they are believable. When you see a regular person talking about your company, people will in turn believe that regular person. But in terms of how social media has changed everything, I am blown away by how in the last, I'd say 10 years, length, we are down to 5-second commercials. And nothing drives me more insane that if you know you got 5 seconds, even if you got a 20-second commercial, your first 5 seconds better be your name, what you do, and how great you are with a great visual.
Yeah.
And then I hit skip, but you've already sent me your message.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that has changed video entirely. It's like the structure of all video is now speed. So even if it's long, it's short in some way. Or you make everything really, really, really short on purpose. There's one commercial now that goes, you can only make, a commercial usually lasts 30 seconds. This is only a 15-second commercial because our fries only take 15 seconds to make. That is genius. And the commercial really is only 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So, I think that is the main thing that social media has changed is that, even YouTube. I used to watch YouTube, and the first thing that would come up would be longer form. It's still under half an hour, but longish form. Now everything, even on YouTube, when you first click onto something, it's showing you all short stuff, minute-long stuff. That was only the Instagram world at first. Now it's the YouTube world. YouTube wants these short things on purpose, and they're popped up first.
Yep.
So if you want to see something longer, now you got to search for that.
Absolutely. And you know what? We say in the marketing world that it's literally about 3 seconds that you have where someone decides I'm interested or I'm not interested. And TikTok does a great job of tricking you, right? Because the video starts and you want to know what happens, but they drag it out because they want that algorithm to see that you're staying there. And that makes me so mad because I know they're not doing it for me. I know they're doing it for the algorithm, but at the same time, they're working the system and it's smart. Speaking of working the system, it would not be a marketing show if we didn't talk about data, metrics. What are some of the things that we can look at when we talk about video marketing to be able to understand its performance and know if it's working for us? What are some of those metrics?
Well, in terms of what our clients could do and what we suggest is just right on the site to know what's going on right there and then. You have a QR code, a specific phone number that goes direct, as opposed to a general number. Anything that you can get the person to click on right off so you can know, who looked or stuff like that.
Yep.
Instant. But on top of that, hire one SEO because we will know all the deep numbers. We can look into it because YouTube sends you an ocean of information of which you may or may not understand,
right. But
your agency can, and they can relate to you. Look, this is how many hits. This is how much, you got 30 leads here because of this. And then, and from those 30, that you got 80 sales. So you can get those numbers from your agency, and they'll explain them to you. So it's be kind of silly to tell someone look up your numbers and figure it out. It's I see analytics here all the time, and I don't understand them. There's so much information. We have our one analytic where you see how many times someone goes on something and then clicks off.
Yep.
That's super important. But will you understand that yourself? No. But that information is out there. There's every type of information you can get. How long someone watched, when they clicked off, did they click off before the important part with the commercial in it?
Yeah.
That's another killer. You do not, that's why sometimes you'll see people say, please stay on. They need you to watch the whole thing. Sometimes I'll watch something and I'll be like, you know what? I know this will mean something to him and I like him. I'm going to watch the whole video.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through the whole commercial. Or sometimes what you got to do is listen to the commercials. You don't want to see as many. So you'll sit there and sit, instead of them kill me with 1,000,000 5-second commercials, I'll sit through this 1 2-minute one, and they'll give me another couple minutes of watching time before they bug me again.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to metrics too, the big thing is you have to decide what is it that you're trying to accomplish, right? If a video is intended to send people to my website, then that should really be the biggest metric that I look at, right? How many click-throughs to my website did I get from people watching that video? If the goal is brand awareness, then it should be how long, how many people watch the video all the way through. And then there's data that you collect to be able to enhance the strategy that you're going to have moving forward, right? When did the majority of the people stop watching? Okay, I know I need to have the nuts and bolts within the first 5 seconds, right? So that they don't, walk out on me, or vice versa. I need to throw a teaser in there to keep them along because people aren't watching them as long as we want to. So you can set up goals and events in Google Analytics. You can look at the data that's provided inside the insights of YouTube. You can UTM wrap things so that you have all of this data. But again, to your point, reaching out to an agency, whether it's One SEO, your cousin in his, mother's basement, whatever the case may be, and really finding a way to wrap your head around the data to make strategic decisions. That's the goal, right?
Yeah, definitely. I would go with an agency. It's too much out there to figure out. And yeah, your nephew ain't gonna help you out.
Yeah, and if you're not paying attention to the data, you're definitely missing out, or at a minimum, you're wasting your own time. If you're producing videos on a regular basis for the sake of producing videos and you have no clue what they're doing, you're just wasting your time. I mean, maybe you like to just shoot video of yourself. I know it's not my favorite thing in the whole wide world, right? But everything has an intent. So let's get into the final roar. I don't want to keep you. I know you've got some videography work to do out there, but what are some of the trends or changes that you feel are going to be happening to the video industry, the video content world over the course of the next few years?
I think content will be shorter and shorter and shorter, which is really, in a certain way, unfortunate. I know kids that won't even watch movies now. It's just a movie and they won't watch it. So I think the trend is for shorter. And this one I also don't like, but it's just eye candy stuff. There are more and more things you see on all these commercials for Adobe products. Mm-hmm. Everyone is now going to try and impress you with all kinds of graphics in every way. And I think that's going to become bigger and bigger and bigger, where it's just full on graphics. You're going to get just attacked with real quick information, and then you're done. And I see a lot of people now, they're always holding their phone. So, and this is bizarre because we're going kind of backwards in time. We went from 4:3 TV and we said, no, we need 16:9 movie shape. And now people got phones and they're turning it vertical. So now everything's back to 4:3 because you can't fit it.
I know, and the flip phone's back.
Yeah, the flip phone's back. And now we're starting to, because we're wasting space, and space for advertising is money. Mm-hmm. So now the 4:3s are becoming 9:16 instead of 16:9. So now you're looking at the vertical. Yeah. So the whole world, it drives me nuts. I have a 16:9 TV, 52 inches, and what's coming on? Right in the middle, because that's what is happening. So you're going to see a lot more vertical stuff crammed with a lot, because you can cram in a lot of info. So the video will be in the middle, all the info on top and bottom. A lot of times they'll lock it, so you can't even, there are times when you turn it, won't really turn, because they don't want you to turn it, because the video becomes all whacked out. Yeah. So they want you to keep it there, so you must read everything. And they'll just keep hitting you with bang, bang, cool looking stuff. You're going to have more and more After Effects-y, CGI stuff coming at you. It's just getting more and more sci-fi at this point.
Yeah, and that's some of the stuff that I'm seeing is there's a lot of automation, right? We know that there's a lot of AI with Chat GPT and even being able to do those videos and voiceovers and different things like that. I see that becoming more and more prevalent, which makes someone like your job a little bit easier, right? If you can't always nail down, the person you're supposed to be filming, hey, let's use this. It's still being tested. I know it's not something that we're using here by any means, but I do see it becoming part of the industry. And I also think animation is going to continue to take a bigger role because they're making it so much easier, right? Now, a layman who didn't go to school, knows absolutely nothing about it, can create amazing animations just through, a tiny little tool. And that's pretty cool. And it's giving power to people. But again, if you don't know what to do with it, you don't know the data behind it, you're going to struggle and you're going to be wasting a lot of time.
Yeah, I think in the end, things will become easier from a technical standpoint. You'll get all these apps where they'll do stuff for you, but then if you don't really know what you're doing, it won't matter. And your commercials or your content will just be a jumble, which I see now. it's just a jumble of stuff slammed together, which kind of looks cool.
Yep.
But in the end, your message is totally lost because you're not putting it in the right order, and you're not saying the right thing, and you're not showing me the right thing.
Yeah.
You're just showing me this like really cool, wacky thing.
Yeah, and that's not something that the AI is doing for us. They're not placing it exactly where it needs to be. They're not controlling the data to be able to make informed decisions. So I like to equate it to a website that's no index, right? It could be the most beautiful website in the whole entire world, but if Google and the bots can't find it, it's nothing, right?
Yes.
It might as well be a business card sitting on a table with no one around it. Well, Tito, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys were able to get something out of it. Video is king. It continues to be king, and it is only going to help content move further and further as we get deeper into 2023. As always, if you have any questions, we are here to answer you. Thank you for joining us in the den, and we look forward to seeing you next time.